Broadcasting from the Teddy Belanger Memorial Studio in Rome, New York. My name is Todd Emanuele. Welcome into episode 123 of the Avetts and Beyond. And that guy sitting over there is not Ryan Boyles. He is sitting in as my co-host this week. Jack Poynor is back. Captain Jack is
No
back.
pressure.
You got big shoes to fill as Ryan is he's out gallivanting. I don't know. I think he's really working more than anything, but he's out in Taiwan, of all places, traveling for work, so he could not be here. Next week will be interesting. We have two shows we're supposed to record next week and early in the week, and he is going to be kind of jet lagged, I would imagine. So it may be entertaining to tune in to see if he falls asleep during the show. But Jack, thank you so much for pinch hitting this week and coming on.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Always fun to have you on. This is how many appearances have you had on the show?
I want to say it's maybe my fourth. Only the second time solo though. I've been on here with Jim Gans or Mike Gans, Jim. Michael Gans. I don't know where that came from.
Mike's brother.
Yeah. And then also we did the Christmas episode with you
that's
and
right.
Ryan and
Santa.
Cody and Santa himself, Ken Whitman. So
that was the last time you were on. That's right. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
To have
a fun episode.
Have Santa Whitman on with Cody Gentry. I always love having Cody on too. He's fun. He's
good stories.
Yeah. It was Santa Claus, Indiana story.
Yeah.
That was great. And he just went through there again. Did you see that? He posted pictures of him like, I don't know if he actually flipped off Santa Claus, Indiana, but he's like, you're not going to trick me again. You're not going to fool me again, Santa Claus, Indiana. And he said he didn't stop, but they drove through there. I thought that was pretty funny.
Done that, I guess, huh?
Yeah. So you've been a busy guy. You've seen lots of shows, and you're all decked out in your Avid Patton stuff. I have my Knicks hat on just for you, being a Texas guy, San Antonio guy. You're a Spurs fan. I'm a New Yorker, a Knicks fan. Knicks took game 1 last night. It was a crazy game. Knicks came back from 14 points down. They seem to do that every game, but we're not going to talk about that very much. Game 2 is tomorrow night. We'll see if they can steal 2 of them in San Antonio. That would be shocking. I can't imagine they win both games out there.
Yeah.
But yeah. But anyway, so you've been traveling all over the place, going to all these shows, and I want to hear about Jack's travels and what shows have you seen? I know it started in your shows never end, but like April, you saw
Red Clay Strays.
The Red Clay Strays out in where was that? Somewhere in Texas, right?
NRG Stadium, where the Houston Texans play at the Houston Livestock Show. It's the largest rodeo in the world.
Oh, that's right, the rodeo.
Over 50,000 to 60,000 people in attendance. So
wow,
great crowd. It was my first time to see the Red Clay Strays, and I have to say they were really pretty darn awesome. So
they are, man.
Not the last time, that's for sure. So
I can't believe I saw them before you with all the shows you get to. I saw them out in December in Las Vegas, and man, that was I stood all day in line to be first, and I got right up near the stage, and it was so spectacular. Long show, but really, really good. So what did they play any of the new songs off the new album?
They did, and I have it on video. Actually, I did a lot of videos that are on my YouTube channel. Did a playlist, and I caught most of the. I think
I've seen them. I can't remember.
Yeah, but yeah, they did play one of the new songs, not the choir one.
Right.
I'm not as familiar with all the song titles. But they did another one. I think it was the first time they had performed it was at the rodeo.
Oh, that's cool. That's always nice.
Yeah, so I had a video of the first time they performed it publicly or whatever, so that was pretty cool. Of course, it's a huge venue, so and they're pretty far away, and it's done in the round. They're rotating, the stage is rotating around.
Oh, really?
So a lot of times, their backs were to me, you couldn't see them, but then there's the big video board, so I just aim at the video board and catch it, the video.
Oh, wow. So the whole show they were just spinning around?
Yeah, slowly spinning. It's right in the middle of the rodeo arena. Which is basically a football stadium. So
right,
they're just spinning around slowly throughout the whole show, and Fortunately, they have a nice video board system there, so you can catch it, on the video when their
Right.
backs are to you. So
Hopefully they were spinning slow enough that they didn't get like motion sick.
I think it was slow enough. Yeah, I think flying off or nothing.
Yeah, right. That could have been interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, it was a very well produced show. It's the same stage that all the acts that come through the rodeo perform on. So it's because it's specially designed just for that venue. So, but it was pretty cool.
so that
That,
was April.
that was April, and then May was the start of our big Avid patent journey. So
Ah,
uh, I had tickets initially. Well, we did have tickets to San Francisco, and then the show after that, which was in Paso Robles, which is about 2 hours, maybe south of San Francisco, or maybe more than 2 hours because of California. But anyways, it didn't work out where I got to go to both those shows because we had an issue with our dog. Got sick. He's
oh,
battling
geez.
cancer, and he's been doing well
Yeah,
in treatment on chemo. Like a oral pill format chemo
yeah.
drug, and we didn't want to both be gone while that's going on. So we kind of split up. My wife had taken a trip to Greece
Yeah,
for
right. I saw that.
about a week or 10 days, while I stayed with the dog. And then the trade-off was then I would go to San Francisco while she stayed with the dog. And I took my brother-in-law, Bruce Middleton, with me.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and then we sold our Paso Robles tickets because that was Mother's Day weekend, and my daughter was flying from Colorado to Texas for Mother's Day on Sunday. And I just felt like if I was to show in Paso Robles on that Saturday, trying to get to the airport and get back by Sunday would have been a little too much. So
Yeah.
we sold those tickets, but we did go to the San Francisco show, me and my brother-in-law, and we
Can't
made
go
a
to all of them.
but we made a nice trip out of it. We did a
That's
lot of
cool.
other things. We went in on the show was like on a Friday. We flew in on a Tuesday. Wednesday, went to see the Giants and the Padres play.
Oh, that's
My,
cool.
my second time at Oracle Park, which is a really great ballpark. I highly recommend going there if you ever have a chance.
I've heard
Uh,
that's on the bucket list of ballparks to see. I've heard great things about that
it's a good
place.
one. And we sat up in the very highest seat because we wanted to be able to see the bay.
That has to be amazing up
Yeah,
there.
so it was a great view up there, and we didn't buy seats for the highest section, but we wound up there just so we could see everything. So we did that. The following day, we did the tour of Alcatraz. That
Oh,
was my
yeah. Oh, that's cool.
my second time doing that. My brother-in-law was his first time to do that, but it's always cool. It's very interesting.
Does the
Uh,
tour change? I wonder, because how long ago were you there? Is that the same
uh,
thing? I
God,
mean,
it was
how
it was probably, gosh, 20 or not quite 20, maybe. Yeah, about 20. Yeah, it probably was about 20 or 15 to 20 years ago before.
how much could the tour change? I guess it
It,
hasn't
it was
really
it was
changed,
not it
right?
was pretty much the same tour from what I remember. It's with we did the one with the headphones and you just walk
Oh, that's
around.
cool. Yeah.
And, so it's there's certain areas that were closed off, like the mess hall area. They were doing some I don't know, renovation, but there's restoration or something in there, so that we couldn't see that. But it, you can walk out on your own just to like the yard where they would go out and play baseball. They still have like little home plate out there and all that. You can see the baseball diamond, and it's a little rough, but it's there.
I've seen pictures of that. That's another place I really need to get. I've only been to Southern California. I've never been to Northern California. Got
Yeah.
to get up there.
And then the day of the concert, we wound up, Liz Tabasso was kind of put the worm in the ear of Abby, who's the guild person. She do the wristband thing where you get the numbered wristband so that we can get our wristbands early and go off and do other stuff during the
Oh,
day.
yeah.
And
Did
so
they
they
do
want
she did that for
she
you?
did that. Yeah, she did that. So, and it worked out good because the venue, which is the Masonic, which is like a Masonic temple,
Yeah.
they don't allow any kind of lines to form in front of the venue. They'll run you off, right? Apparently. So we went to like a park that was across the street, at 11 o'clock, and Abby was there. And I think I got wristband. My brother-in-law and I, we got wristbands like 9 and 10, I think it was, something like that.
Nice.
So we're pretty close to the front. Saw a lot
Well,
of the
how did
usual suspects there. A lot of people we know, a lot of rejects that were there that were getting their wristbands too, and actually was
how
able
do
to
they
go to
not let a
line.
line form? I don't understand that. Like, how do
Yeah,
you get in if you can't form a line?
yeah. You just when you show up when the doors open, you just go in. You just they don't.
But if you have your wristband, they let you go get to the front, obviously, right?
Yeah, we got to go in early. They let us in before the general, admission and all
Oh,
that.
good.
So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got early interest for the guild. And then
Right,
there's
right.
some that were going in to do the meet and greet with Bob that got in before that even. But once they met with Bob, they got back into the guild line, and we timed it just right to where the doors hadn't opened yet, and the merch stand was like right there. And so I was worried about getting to my spot because I wanted to get right to the rail because it was standing. We're in, GA standing, and I wanted to
Right.
get right in front of Mike Patton because I've never seen Mike Patton before, so
Sure,
and I want
sure.
to see him play with all his little gizmos that he has and all that. So
Yeah, he's
I was
something
worried.
with all that.
Yeah, I was worried about getting my poster and getting to the rail at the same time, and it worked out good because the merch stand opened just a few minutes before they let us in. I was able to get my poster and get right to the spot that I wanted with me and my brother-in-law. So we were right
So
in front of
let
Patton.
me ask you this. Why didn't they open the merch stand before? If it's sitting right there by because there was no lines. You couldn't
Yeah,
form a line.
it was frustrating because we were like standing there waiting, and Emily was there from the guild, and I was like, "Are they gonna, open this before whatever? Is there time to get in here, get a poster, and get to the rail?" And she's like, "Oh."
Oh my gosh, that
And
had
so
to
like
be
we're like, and then finally they
frustrating.
go like, "Okay, we're open," and I think Liz was the first to get in there, get her
That
poster. Then I
doesn't.
went in after that, and so like she got like number 1 or 2, and I got like number 3 or whatever.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
so it worked out. We were able to get there, get right to the rail. Um, oh, and the cool part is getting to the show. We got to ride a cable car to get there. So how many times can you say
No
that you rode
way.
a cable car to get to the? And before that, in the day before, we rode in a driverless car, a Waymo car, or whatever. That was
Oh my
interesting. That
gosh.
was an experience. I
Yeah, I've
wasn't
never
going to do
done
it,
that.
but my brother-in-law Bruce, he really wanted to do it. So I'm like, all
What was
right.
that like? Was that scary or?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool and scary. There was one time where a car kind of like pulled out almost in front of us, and but the driver's car reacted really well, but it pulled over across the yellow lines, and fortunately there was no oncoming cars.
Oh my god.
And then it was like close to where we're getting to a traffic light, and it was yellow, and I thought, okay, it's going to slow down. You're like, no, it gunned right through,
Really?
when it was almost red. And so I was like, wow.
Wow, you'd
So
think those would be programmed to stop when a light turned yellow.
it was like about a 12-minute ride, I think, and I got a video of the whole thing. It's
Have you posted that? I didn't see that. If you
no,
did.
it's on my page as unlisted. I can make it public, and people can see it if they want to experience what it's like to run in a
I've seen
driverless
Waymos
car.
out in Vegas. You see them driving all over the place.
Yeah,
I have
they
not
have them
been
in
brave
Houston
enough to
here,
get in
but
one of
I've
those.
never seen them. I haven't seen them in Houston yet, but I've heard they're here.
I've not been brave enough to get in one yet.
Yeah,
That scares me. It's bad enough being in like Teslas that the driver is like talking to you without the hands on the wheel and it's just driving itself. And we're going like 80 on a freeway. This was in California, actually. Going like 80 on the freeway, and he's explaining how the driver or how the car drives itself, and he's like turned around looking at us. I'm like, this is not good. This is
eyes
horrifying.
on the road, please. Oh
But
man.
anyway, all right. So was that where you had the meet and greet with Bob at that show, or was that a different one?
No, that one I think it was Andrea Fig White and Mike White. They had a meet and greet there. I think Liz was part of it too there as
Okay.
well. Um, but I did mine was in Dallas.
Oh, okay.
But we also got to meet him at the book signing, or not book sign. Well, I guess he did sign our book, so I guess not book sign. It was already signed, but he just personalized it for me
Oh, that's cool.
because I just brought my book that I'd gotten that I pre-ordered. That I just brought my book with me. But that
Right.
was in Austin at a place called Book People, where he did a little part of his book tour there. But interestingly, like the person that normally interviews him or whatever didn't show up or
Oh,
couldn't make it for whatever reason. So he just kind of went solo and
Well,
the
he can handle that. He's
yeah,
good at
he opened up
talking.
his book and he read the forward that he wrote. He read that all the
Yeah.
way through, and then of course went through a lot of the parts of the book, and that's when I brought up when the question and answer session. I brought up about the illustrations because I wanted to give Garrett Moreland a plug out there. So he talked about that a little bit, and that's when I got to see him. I told him, well, I have a picture that Garrett Moreland did. There was a show at White Oak Music Hall or Amphitheater in Houston back in 2022.
Yeah.
And Garrett Moreland did a poster that had all sketches of all 7 band members.
I have that poster.
And it was very popular because Liz and Laura and I were all there, and we took orders for everybody. We and they didn't have a limit, so we got like 20 posters between us and 7 of the various people.
I think I got mine from you or Liz. I can't remember.
Yes,
From one of you.
But I wound up getting a test drawing from Garrett test drawings of Bob and Joe that he did for that poster.
For the poster? Oh, that's what that drawing is. Yeah, that's cool.
I happened to bring it here.
Yeah, for the people on the radio, he's holding up a picture of Bob and Joe done by Garrett Moreland. If you're on the YouTubes, you can see it.
Yeah, that's right. Go to YouTube and you can see the drawing. And I was able to show this to both Joe and Bob because I did get to meet, and we'll get to that later, I'm sure. We did get to go to a special event with Joe.
Wait a minute, Jack. You didn't have them sign it?
No, I didn't take the picture with me.
That's okay.
I went to my Google Photos archive and I pulled it up and I showed it.
Yeah, that was dumb of me because why would you have brought the picture with you? But
it
would have been nice to have them sign it.
I've done that. Like I went to some other shows we'll talk about maybe later. I brought some old records and CDs that I had some guys sign for me. So it's not out of the question. I certainly could have done that. Just like I brought Bob's book to the book talk in Austin for him. He had already signed it because it was pre-ordered, but
that's easier to lug around though than that giant picture there.
Yeah, but anyway, we'll get back. Let's talk a little bit about the Avett Patent shows. So
yeah,
I got some notes in front of me, so I'm going to kind of go through.
You prepared very well for this, by the way.
Yeah, well, I don't want to forget something and go, oh, I should have talked about this. I'll miss something anyway. And that's why I got glasses on because I got to be able to see what I wrote.
I hear you.
So yeah. So like I said, we got to the rail, right in the spot I wanted, right in front of Mike Patton. And I got lots of videos out there that are from the show there, from all these 3 shows I went to. And the one thing that hit me right away, is the opening song, Disappearing. It's very dimly lit. There's some backlighting, but basically, they're Scott, Seth, and Mike Patton, they're all like in silhouette.
That's cool.
And there's some comments that were made later on by someone that is very well known for the great photographs that she takes in our groups, that she was like, I need Pete to turn the lights on so I can photograph it better.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And, we jokingly say it because we respect Pete and his artistic and the way he lights things. And I thought it was totally cool. And I loved it. I'd love to hear Pete talk about how he, came about, developing the lighting for all this show and all that too. But
yeah, we got to get Pete back on the show. It's been a while since he's been on. I'd love to. He's lived a lot of life since the last time he was on. We could talk about lots of stuff.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's a good idea.
Again, I was able to say a quick hello to him in San Francisco. And then I've gotten.
Did you snag a set list of his?
I got set list in Dallas, and I was going to get that to Liz's daughter, Mary, because Mary Spencer, she recently had a baby. Well, over a year old now, I guess.
Yeah.
And
the baby's in high school, but
yeah, she was going to be there, and also for the meet and greet for Bob that we had in Dallas, there was another person there that was by himself, so we were able to get Liz's daughter Marianne as the +1 to meet Bob too. So that was really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
She was grinning from ear to ear. She got to see
I
Bob.
bet. That's great.
But when I got the set list from Pete in Dallas, he also had the Austin set list, which I thought that would have been long. I didn't even ask for that. So I was able to keep the Austin set list, and then I gave Mary the one from Dallas. So we all got a set list. So it was good.
Pete's set lists are the best. They're the best.
His doodles on there, and those are always cool. Yeah.
I have three of his. Three of the five shows I've been to, I got his set list. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yep. Yep. So I've got several of his. And there's times where he'll say, send me reminders, send me reminders. So I'll constantly send reminders, and I'll send him like pictures of me with his like his artwork in the background, like you see behind me here. Set list, and I'll put a little speaking balloon coming out of his character, like, remember set list.
Yeah, you do have to remind him. I've noticed that, and he asked you to remind him. So, got a
Yeah,
lot
well,
on
he's
his
got a lot
mind.
going on, so
Oh yeah.
that's cool. So, anyways, that's the thing that hit me right away was the lighting, and but the song's disappearing, and to me they're kind of disappearing into darkness, which maybe
Well,
is
don't
that.
you think I was gonna say that that's got to be what the inspiration
Yeah,
in the lighting is. They're
yeah,
like disappearing.
and then it kind of like, and this all three shows. This is the first song they played, "Disappearing." They opened with, and then in all three shows I went to, the second song was the Ox Driver song,
Hmm.
and it starts out dark, but then that one does light up. And as soon as it lights up, you see Joe back there on the chains. He picks up these big
Oh,
old chains and drops the chains, and he squats down, picks them up, and drops them again.
he's getting a workout in as
Yeah,
he's playing
and so
music.
at the event where we met Joe, and this was in Houston, it was an event called Breaking Bread. There's a local chef here named Chris Shepard who has a show on TV called it's on, I think, Saturdays. It's called Eat Like a Local in the Houston area, and he's a fan of the Avett brothers, and he's met him before. He's met Joe before, but since they didn't really have any shows for a while after the Dallas show, he had Joe come on down to Houston and be a guest on this little event that was at the Hobby Center, which is where I've seen a few concerts there at the Hobby Center. I've seen some Broadway type shows there. But there's like a little facility off to the side that holds about maybe 150, 200 people, and they have tables. So it's like a dining thing. And so Joe was there, and we were right next to the stage, right next to Joe, kind of behind him though, because our table was right on the side and I was in the back table. So I kind of got the back of his head. I didn't get any good pictures during the talk or whatever, but anyways, we did get a chance to talk to him after that, and I asked him about playing the chains because I said, "Did you get any tips from Scott?" Because I remember they had talked about Scott had played the chains on one of Johnny Cash's records, right? I think it was after Johnny had passed, but they came in and did, and Scott and Seth contributed to the album because
Was that one of those tribute albums?
No, it was an actual Johnny Cash album, but he had recorded the vocals, I guess, and then they did the music kind of after, I guess, maybe.
Have I heard of this before? I don't know that I've heard of that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I forget stuff.
I think this might have been his last album, or maybe the second last. Well, probably his last album because I think he passed away before they finished it.
Was that the one that Hurt was on, that album?
I should go back and revisit it to know exactly which
Yeah,
one.
I'm gonna do that tonight. I gotta check that out.
There's the song that has the chain. It was a popular song, and I'm drawing a blank off the top of my head, but
well, I'll play that on the music of the show too now, because that's like
yeah. And so yeah, Scott played the chains, and that was known because I mentioned that to Joe. And so did Scott give you any good tips on playing the chains? And he goes, "Oh no, but I can tell you this: they're really heavy. They're like 60 pounds." And it
so
was
he
a
does get a
workout.
workout in. Yeah, he likes to work out, so it's all good.
Yeah, but that was to me. That was my first big highlight, was to see Joe back there on the chains, and I'd heard about it because people had gone to the earlier shows before that. And so
I've only seen pictures of it. I don't. There must be videos of it that you've taken.
Yeah. Go out to the San Francisco show and look for the video, because there's pretty good video of him, because him and Tanya were right behind, Mike Patton. So
Right.
Tanya was very much blocked. I couldn't really see her very well, but Joe was far enough off to the side there where I got a decent view of him playing the chains.
So let me ask you this: like, with the band being there as a part of the Avid Patton thing, the whole band, did they always kept them in the background? Like, was it just focused on Scott, Seth, and Mike the whole time?
Yeah,
And
pretty
Bob
much.
and Joe and Mike and
Yep.
Tanya and Bonnie were just hiding
Yeah,
back there playing music.
yeah. Joe and Tanya were behind Mike Patton, and Mike
Yeah.
Patton had a big setup of like three different like tables with all his like his laptop and all these
Yeah.
other weird things on it.
His trinkets
Yeah,
or whatever
and
they
that
are.
pretty much blocked out a lot of what I could see from Tanya from where I was,
Yeah.
depending on where you were. And Tanya, but times I did see her, she was playing various instruments, it wasn't just the fiddle. She was playing other things too.
Did
So
she play her guitar back there?
yeah,
I think
yeah,
I saw that once.
yeah. And then Bob was in his usual spot, and there was a funny moment in a I try to remember which show it was. Oh, it was in Dallas where they were playing "Ashes to Ashes," which is a Faith No More song,
Yeah.
but it's a Scott or Seth arrangement on the piano. And I love that song by Faith No More. And I was a Faith No More fan back in the day, so I was actually thrilled with this whole collaboration. I know
Yeah,
a lot of people
that's
weren't.
cool.
I was amongst the ones that were. So
You know what though? The people that weren't, I don't think they ever really listened because they just didn't want to. It's like the whole Seth and the Feed album. Like they didn't give it a chance because they didn't like it. They just thought they didn't like it. I don't know.
I'm
The
guilty of
more
that.
I listened to the Avid Patton stuff, the more I liked it. And
Yeah,
I wasn't huge on it at first, but the more I listened to it, I'm like, you know what? This is good. It's
yeah,
different and it's good. And the live performances seem amazing, like
yeah. They were.
above and beyond what the album was.
I was very happy to go to three shows. I could have seen more. Just I was
Did
fortunate
the
to go.
set list vary in the three shows, or like you said, the first couple songs were the same? Did they play a
They
bunch of
were
different ones though?
they were pretty consistent, except they changed it up a little bit once they went to. I think all through California they were pretty similar because I kind of looked at them before here.
Yeah.
Like San Francisco, Paso Robles, and San Diego, except they added "Winter in My Heart," I think, and
Mm.
Paso Robles and in San Diego they play "Winter in My Heart" in the encore, which I would have loved to see that because I've only seen that twice.
Yeah.
And it was on the set list for Dallas, but it got nixed. It didn't get played.
Ah.
And then like in San Francisco, they had "May It Last" on there, but then that came off when they went to Phoenix, which was the show after San Francisco. I wasn't there at that show, but I looked at the set list. And then instead of that, they put in the "Pretty Girl from Chile," which
Which that version
oh
is
my god,
unreal.
that was incredible. And the
That
song
was
"Don't
your
Fall
video that I posted, right?
Down." What's that?
That was your video that I
Yeah,
posted, right? That
yeah.
that that I watched that and I was sitting there with my mouth open, like, what? Like
Yeah, that
Mike
was
Patton
great.
added so much to that version of that song.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to play the audio from that one on the episode here too,
yeah,
so people can
and
hear
you
it.
might play the part where Mike Patton sings in Spanish because that's when everybody
So
goes,
good.
"Whoa!"
It's so good. That's where my mouth dropped open. I'm like, that was so perfect for that
Yes,
song.
and then
And just
later on,
everything about it was like that was the best version of that song they've ever played.
yeah, and
Ever.
it's kind of interesting. And I think the reason why he could sing so well in Spanish is like his ex-wife, divorced many years ago, was Italian from Italy, and he lived in Italy for a while, I believe. And so he spoke, I think, fluent Italian, which is in the
It's
same similar vein of Spanish, right?
very similar. Yeah.
Yeah, and he talked about it, the Masonic, like because Faith No More was from San Francisco, so like I went to this show expecting all these Faith No More fans there, and I can honestly say in all three shows I went to, I never really felt the big presence of Faith No More fans. I think
Really?
you would hear them shout out, you're like, yeah, when they would play Faith No More or Mr. Bungle song or something,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're there, and you know they were just taking it in, and they were pretty well behaved, I guess, because I didn't like notice any kind of like shenanigans going on, and bad mouthing of the Avetts or anything from any Faith No More people. So, but he talked about that venue because he said he never played the Masonic, even all their years in San Francisco,
Huh.
coming from there, but he saw George Jones there.
Oh wow.
Of all people, and and then he said, but he was also there the only other time he was there, besides seeing a few shows, was when I think his wife was getting naturalized, or her American citizenship, and they had to say the Pledge of Allegiance. She had to say the Pledge of Allegiance, and then that's when Seth kind of joked. He goes, "Well, the next song on the set list is Pledge of Allegiance," and when Scott says, "Well, I need to go find some lyrics."
When did they do well, we'll get to the chicken banana thing, I think, at some point
Yes.
here. But Mike Patton's huge in Europe, so I wonder if that's why well, other than his wife being Italian, ex-wife being Italian,
Yeah.
yeah, they must have toured over there at some point. Maybe he picked up some Spanish too, but
Yeah.
Spanish and Italian is very similar.
It's very similar. But getting back to, I kind of lost track of. I was talking about the Ashes to Ashes. So the one in Dallas, this is where Seth's arrangement. They're on the piano. It's all
Yeah.
piano, and the Mike's vocals, which are really great on the song. And it's a pretty heavy song. It's a Faith No More song, so it mellows out a lot with the piano, but his vocals are still very powerful. And before they played that song, they kind of joked around like, "Hey, we're in Bob country," because it's where the piano is, towards where Bob usually stands with his bass. And Mike Patton joked about, "Yeah, he's there with that big old violin thing with them big strings." And he goes, they said, "Well, I'm feeling kind of smart here now, because." And then Liz Tabasco, she shouted out, like, "Yeah, you could write a book." And Seth's like, "That's right, I could write a book about history." He totally cued off of Liz on that. That was great. So I got that on video too. So
Oh, that's all. I haven't
that was
seen
a
that
fun
either. I
moment.
thought I've watched all your videos. I guess I didn't pay attention to everything in
Yeah,
there.
that was the Dallas shows. That was a fun moment. That was funny.
Oh, she had to have a huge smile on her face when they
Oh,
responded to her.
yeah. But yeah, the set list, like the one thing that they struck, instead of May It Last, they played in San Francisco. They played, like we said, Pretty Girl from Chile. And then there was, what was the other one? And let's see, look at my notes here. Well, they added Geraldine in Phoenix for the first time. So I wasn't at the Phoenix show, but they played, and we were like hoping for it, because I had another guest of your show, Chuck Cox, who's been on your show. He was sitting right behind
Yeah.
me in Austin, the Austin show. And we were saying, man, it'd be great to see if they do Geraldine again tonight. Because I always like that song. It's short, sweet, but it's got a lot of energy, a lot of Scott screaming in it usually. So I kind of like that one. And they played that. So they led off with a song called "Merry Go Bye Bye" from Mr. Bungle.
Nice.
And so that got a few shout outs from the Mike Patton fans out there.
I
That
bet.
apparently very rare. I don't know if they ever played that, or if they did, it was very rare when they were touring as Mr. Bungle.
I
But they're
think they're just
playing,
happy to hear him do anything of that stuff.
but it wasn't the full song, but it was a good taste of the song.
Yeah,
And then they transitioned right into Geraldine, so it was
that's cool.
that was another big highlight, I think, for the three shows I went to, was to be able to see that at two of the three shows. God. Oh, and then getting back to what you were talking about with Seth and his rap album.
Yeah.
So like, I was not a big fan, and I was guilty of not really giving it a listen.
Oh, you were one of the. I'm sorry, I called you out on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's okay. That's right. I'll fully admit, I've kept quiet about it because I respect, artists being able to do what they want to do, and that's great. But I he did It's Natural, at all three shows went to, and which is off the Feed album, and I actually didn't mind it. I kind of liked it a little bit, so
It's so good.
we're open to it now, maybe, and
Yeah,
they
you got to give it another chance. Give it a
there is a
chance.
reference to Stevie Ray Vaughan, which I can respect, one of my favorites. So
Absolutely love that album. I've listened to that album so many times, and give it a chance. I hope he does more songs off the album instead of just playing It's Natural every time. There's so many other good songs on there. But anyway, we'll see as the shows go on. Maybe he'll incorporate some into actual like regular Avid shows too, which would be cool. A lot of shows coming up, so maybe they will. I hope
that's
so.
one thing I kind of wonder if will they even do like maybe an Avid Patton song in a regular Avid show.
And have Mike Patton show up.
Well, I'm thinking the one song that kind of maybe fits them, just doing it just as the Avid Brothers, is Received. That one.
Yeah.
seems the most Avett Brothers like, that could have been on an Avett Brothers album, maybe. Um,
Yeah, I agree.
but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've seen all David Pad songs except for one, the one that he curses, says the F word on.
Oh, they didn't play that one?
Didn't play that one, and but they did all the other ones. They did 7 David Patton songs each night, all 3 nights. Some I heard twice, and some I heard 3 times. So
Right.
but that one song they haven't done, and I figure it's probably because there's a curse word in there. And Mike Patton does tend to drop a few F bombs and say the S word every now and then. So which you don't know typically hear that at an Avett show, but
No, not
but
very often.
I think it was Dallas. He was a little cognizant of it because there were some kids, and Justin Menezes was there with his twins down in the front row,
Yeah.
maybe, and some other kids, so they might have been like he didn't want to curse as much, and he actually had he was trying to recruit some of the kids to do the opening line from the Merry Go Bye Bye song. No, it was not Merry Go Bye Bye. It's Digging the Grave, which is a Faith No More song.
I saw that video.
Yeah, and it starts out with it. Yeah. Right. And he
And he
tried to
had
get
the
the
kids.
kids to do that. And I
Yeah,
think he scared some kids away.
he did.
Finally
That
got
was,
some up there. And I thought at first it was Justin's kid. I asked Justin after the show, were those your kids? No, it was some other kids. But
that was a good video, though. I saw that one.
and you can see Justin's son Finley a lot in my videos because he stands up, and that's one thing. A lot of people were sitting down through these shows, and I'm one of those. I'll sit down, but if people stand up in front of me, I don't mind. I'll stand up too. I'll go either way. But there was a lot of sitting compared to other Avis shows. There was
Huh.
not a lot of standing. Well, San Francisco, we were standing because we're GA, so I don't know about that one because the
Oh,
seated
right.
areas there weren't a whole lot of those. It was a pretty small, pretty quaint venue, which was nice. But the one in Austin, the venues where the Texas Longhorns play basketball. So it's pretty big venue. On the UT campus there. And then the one in Dallas, it's one of my favorite venues, but the first time I've seen a rock concert, or not rock concert, but a concert there. I've seen several like Broadway type shows there at the Winsphere Opera House. It's very comfortable. They got really comfortable seats, so I don't blame people for wanting to sit, to
Yeah, right.
be honest. But yeah, a lot more sitting, and I think it's a lot of just because it's not necessarily hardcore Avett fans, except for the few that we know,
Right.
but not the more casual Avett fans maybe that were not into the Avett Patton thing maybe didn't come out. So it's more just people
Which
that are
is
just
too
maybe
bad.
just curious just to see what it was about, that just needed something to do on a Friday night or something. I don't know, but and then the few Faith No More or Mike Patton fans that were out there. So I feel like that's maybe more conducive to people wanting to sit that aren't as much hardcore into either one.
Yeah, sure.
More casual. So
Yeah, you're probably right.
yeah.
So
But
what else was going on at those shows? What's the whole chicken banana thing?
okay, yeah. So
I'm waiting for that.
that was in Dallas, I believe. That was in the encore. They do the cigarettes, whiskey, and Wild Wild Women,
Yeah.
and which I did not know that is a song from the old Son of the Pioneers, written in 1947.
Wow, really?
Like I thought it was going to be like one of these outlaw country guys or something that did
Yeah,
this.
right.
But I went back and looked into it, and wow, that's crazy. So, but anyways, yeah, they that one was pretty cool because yeah, before as you mentioned, they talked about Grumpy Scott. So I think it was in the San Francisco show where they first started talking about Grumpy Scott. That's Mike Patton kind of pegged him as that. Because talking about how Scott's voice is kind of gravelly and all that, sound
Yeah.
like he's grumpy, and so they brought that up again in Dallas right before that song, and then they started talking about they were going to play Chicken Banana, whatever, because I think that goes to that Steve Colbert. I think it was part of that show.
Yeah, it
They were
definitely
interviewing
was. Yes.
some kids or whatever. Like, what do you want
Yep.
to? What group do you want to see? Oh, I want to see one of the Avett Brothers or something. Sing Chicken Banana or something.
And they sang it.
And no,
Did you?
they faked like they were going to sing it, and but of course they didn't sing it.
Did you see the Stephen Colbert thing? It's really good.
I did see
Oh,
it, but
okay.
I watched it out of order because they were like it was in two parts, I guess. For the
Oh,
show, they broke it up two different parts, and I didn't know the build up with the kids doing, talking about it with the, that meeting they had, whatever. I just saw like the video that had them doing the songs. I'm like,
oh, yeah. You saw
why are they
the
doing
part.
this? And then I saw the other. I'm like, okay, now I understand. I should have watched them
Yeah,
the other
seeing
order.
that backwards had to be strange because it definitely had a flow to it the other way.
Yeah, and then at the end of that song, that's where Mike Patton plays this little weird Brazilian wash tub or something. It's got like holes with nuts and bolts in it, and when you shake it, it rattles.
Huh.
And I think it's called a Shakeabalde. It's spelled like Xequuebalde, but pronounced Shakeabalde. I think I'm probably butchering that.
We'll
It's
take your word
a
for that. Yeah.
Brazilian or Portuguese thing or something. I don't know. And at the end of the song, he sticks that on Seth's head, so he looks like Buckethead. Instead of a Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket, it's this thing.
Uh,
And I'm seeing that the bolts are sticking out. That seems like it could be kind of dangerous. Like you might, scratch yourself. So hopefully, Seth's got his tetanus shot or whatever.
oh gosh.
And I think they've done that to Bob too. I've heard they put it on Bob's head, some other show too.
Sure, Bob was thrilled.
So Patton's kind of funny. He's a character up there for sure, and he horses around a lot, and he looks like he's having a great time with it. So that's the main
That's
thing.
cool. They all look like they're having fun with this
They
whole
are. I think they're
tour.
having a great
So
time, which makes me happy. So
yeah, absolutely.
see them having a happy time up there. So
And again, people that aren't giving it a chance, give it a chance. Check it out.
definitely.
Everything I've heard about the shows is positive. Like if you go to one of these shows, it's just awesome. And I mean, have the Avets ever disappointed you with any show ever? And to add
Uh,
new stuff in, I mean, how can you go wrong? You can't go wrong. And they're just having the time of their life working with Mike Patton. You just
yeah,
know that.
and I actually like the songs that they're doing. I mean, it's like they're doing that Dean Martin, the My Rifle, My Pony and Me or whatever,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Dean Martin movie. Like who would have ever thought they'd be doing that? And to me, it kind of
Great
reminds
thing.
me a little bit of that song from the movie Three Amigos when they're sitting around the campfire, and they sing that little country song or whatever. And it sounds just like that, And I love that part of the movie. I don't know if you've seen it before or not, but
A long time ago. Yeah, it's been a
that's kind of
long
what it
time.
reminded me of. It's Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Chevy Chase sitting around
Yeah.
as Three Amigos playing a little song that sounds like it could have been from the Dean Martin movie. So
Ooh, maybe there's a Halloween show coming up where they could dress up like that.
yeah,
The
that's
Three
true.
Amigos.
I've seen a sticker for that.
I have too, yes.
Three Amigos. Yeah.
That's a good idea. Put that out into the world for them to hear, and maybe they'll do that. All right, so let's see what time we got. We got a few minutes we can still go. We're running out of time here, though.
Oh, are we? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
well,
What
I
else
could.
you got?
That's Oh, and shout out to Tim Mossberger as usual for all the set lists and everything, and allow me to get all this information and prep for the show. So he
Tim's the
pointed
best.
out. Tim pointed out, like, because he saw my video of the Dallas version of the whiskey or cigarettes, whiskey, Wild Wild Women. They played an old traditional instrumental version of it. Anyways, Fireball Mail. It's a song they hadn't played in since 2018, I don't think. Played it 32 times, surprisingly. I went back and looked,
Oh,
so I
wow.
played 32 times. So yeah, it was a little. They did like an instrumental version, like a shortened instrumental version of Fireball Mail at the end of this. So
You never would have known that without Tim Mossberger, by the
yeah,
way.
and I kept the video rolling then because I remembered in San Francisco, I stopped the video on that song, and then it was like a false ending, and they went back and did another, but it wasn't that song, but they just did a couple of false endings. I'm like, darn it, I missed it. So this time I kept it rolling, thinking they're going to do that again, and then they broke out into this Fireball Mail song. So
Oh, nice. So you got it. That's good.
I got it. Yeah, so I'm glad I did, and because it wasn't on. Usually, they must have spontaneously did that because it wasn't on the set.
So what other concerts have you been to besides the Ava Patton stuff?
Yeah,
I know
so
you've gone to other shows.
yeah, the week after that, I went to see a group that I've been wanting to see for over 45 years or so, Triumph from Canada.
Triumph. Love it.
They were doing their 50th reunion tour, and they're a trio, but they brought in two other guys just because they're up in age and they can't quite hit the high notes they used to be able to hit. And they have a drummer that sings a lot on a lot of the songs, and they didn't want him out behind the drum kit singing or whatever, so they brought in another drummer. So they had two drummers,
Oh
and
wow.
so the drummer could come out from behind the kit to sing some of the songs that he sang. And then they
Triumph
had
is an
another.
underrated band,
Then
by
they
the
yeah
way.
they had another guitar player, another bass player. The bass player, the original bass player is ill, so he couldn't be there. But the guy they had was great. He was really good, and he could sing like the drummer. And the other guitar player sings like Rick Emmett, the guitar player, right, for Triumph. And actually, the other guitar player, he actually was in Triumph in I think the early '90s when Rick Emmett left the group
Oh wow.
for solo act. So he had played with Slash, I think, in some project with Slash or whatever. So um, it was great because all the notes that Rick couldn't hit, they would fill in, and it was seamless. I mean, it sounded really good. It's the
That's
loudest
great.
concert I've been to in a long time. And it
Yeah,
was all in the
that's
arena where the Spurs and the Knicks are playing right now in San Antonio. And I had the option of going to San Antonio or Sugarland. Sugarland's in the Houston area. It's a lot closer, obviously, because I live in the Houston area. But I wanted to go to San Antonio because that's where I grew up my high school years and when I became a fan of theirs. And there's a song that they wrote called Little Texas Shaker that I figured there's a chance they might play it because it's about San Antonio. Because their very first U.S. show they ever played was in San Antonio because they were
yeah.
really popular because of a radio station we had down in San Antonio called 99.5 KISS. And they had a radio DJ named Joe Anthony that was considered the godfather of rock. And it was metal capital of the world at the time, early 80s. Back where I used to go see Judas Priest and AC/DC and all these, Scorpions, all these guys, right back in the day. But I never saw Triumph. But I thought there's a chance they might play Little Texas Shaker. So I went, and they didn't play the whole song, but they teased it and played a little part of it.
Well,
So
that's
it
cool. You
worked
got a
out
little
great.
bit.
Right before they went into Rock and Roll Machine. So that was cool.
That's a
Uh,
great underrated band, as I said before, Triumph.
yeah, I mean, Rick Emmett is amazing guitar player too, and great singer back in the day. He doesn't quite have that range anymore, but
Yeah, it happens.
yeah, but he's serviceable. He can still get up there and do most of the songs. He just has a little crew there to kind of help him over the cliff a little bit. So we did that, and then I went to some local shows here. A little place called the Mucky Duck. It's like a Irish pub. They have the best chicken pot pie.
Nice.
And I
Plug.
saw a
Shameless
guy.
plug.
I saw a guy named Jesse Dayton. Jesse Dayton is he's played in bands with Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings. He worked on the soundtrack for a Rob Zombie movie, Devil's Rejects. So he's a very varied resume, and he's currently doing in a group called Texas Headhunters, which I absolutely love. Because another guy that I like a lot, Ian Moore, is in that band, and then they also have another guy that Jeffrey Muller, who is the other guitar player in Fabulous Thunderbirds, not Jimmy Vaughn, but the other one, Jimmy Vaughn, Stevie Ray's brother, right, in the Fabulous Thunderbirds. So they're a pretty good band. They got a second album they're working on right now. So that was fun. First time I had seen him, especially in that small, quaint of a venue. It was really cool to see. And I went to two shows that night. I bought tickets, two different shows, same establishment. I ate dinner, chicken pot pie for the first show, and I had dessert for the second show, where I saw this guy, Garrett T. Capps. This is his album cover right here. The YouTube people can see this. And this album cover was designed by somebody that's been on this show, A Partridge.
Couple times. Yeah, a few
Yeah.
times.
And so,
And that is very clearly Abe Partridge artwork. I love
yep.
it.
And I was able to talk to Garrett about Abe, and I wore one of my Abe shirts to one of the times I saw, because I saw them again a month before that too. So it's twice I've seen Garrett T. Capps in the last month. But so we talked about Abe a little bit, and Garrett's all about San Antonio. I mean, he writes lots of songs about San Antonio. When you grow up in San Antonio, go to high school in San Antonio, you get married in San Antonio, your kids in San Antonio, born in San Antonio, you went to college and graduated college in San Antonio, you relate to a lot of it. So I can definitely relate. He's a different, he's a little crazy, a little kooky, a little weird, a little strange. He'll be the first to tell you that. But he's got a lot of good San Antonio personalities that play on the record, or Texas personalities, like Kevin Russell, who plays in a group called the Shiny Ribs, who played with David Childers and with the Gorge when David toured through Texas back in the early 2000s. So he's on Garrett's album. I mean, it's really interesting stuff. That's all I can say. And he plays his concerts. He calls it Solo Robotico. He's just got like all these little gadgets, and he knows about Avetts Patton because he's a Mike Patton fan. We talked about that a little bit because he's got little gadgets and gizmos that play these weird sounds too when he plays solo. So interesting guy. I can't recommend them for anybody, but if you're from San Antonio, you probably can.
You'll love it.
Out of him. He says the genre is Tex-Mex psychedelic. That's what he calls it. So
that's cool.
And then the last show I saw was this past Sunday with a young man named Jack Barksdale, who's just shy of 19 years old now. I first met Jack when he was, I think 16. He played at a home concert here close to my house, about 10 minutes away. He actually was there as a guest for Abe Partridge, was playing the home concert. But he and Abe covered some Hank Williams songs at the end of Abe's set that night. So I met him back then when he was 16, and then he finally came back, played the same place, 10 minutes from the house, played a home concert. And amazingly, this is his album cover for an album called Voices that those on YouTube can see. And Abe Partridge also did this album cover. A little different style for Abe in that it's watercolor.
Abe's the best.
A little different.
Abe's the best. Jack, I met Jack. I got to see them last summer? It must have been last summer in Syracuse.
Yeah,
they did a show together.
Yeah.
At a little listening room, and it was spectacular. Jack is so good.
Yeah, he is. He writes. I mean, I think he was kind of like a young Townes Van Zandt. I mean, the songs he writes are like way beyond his years. I think
way beyond his years. Yeah.
And
Abe said at that show that Jack Barksdale will blow up because everyone he's ever toured with has blown up and he stayed in the same place. So he knows he's gonna blow up and be huge, like the Red Clay Strays. And
Jack's gonna be playing with Hayes Carll and 2 shows in Beaumont, and like next week or week after. So that's a pretty big deal. Play with Hayes Carll is fairly well known too. So cool. Abe with the Red Clay Strays, right? Yeah, they kind of blew up, I guess you could say.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, he said everyone that he's ever played with or toured with has blown up, and he's stayed in the same place. It's like Abe needs to be more famous than Abe is. Like, if you go and see him, you fall in love with his music and his personality. He's just the best. He needs to be more famous than he is. But he'll get there someday, I guess. But I don't know that he really, really wants to. I think he likes where he is at the same time. Like I don't know. He's great at everything he does. And he's just a good guy. He's just one of my favorite people that I've met because of the show. So anyway. All right. Well, we got to wrap it up because we got to save a little bit of time to play some tunes here. So thank you, Jack, for coming. Anything you want to wrap up with before I let you go?
No, just real quick. I'll be back at the Mucky Duck next week to see Mac Leapart. And Mac Leapart's the guy that played a house concert with Cody Gentry. Cody also a guest of this show. And I think he's a third cousin of Cody too, or something.
I think that was made up, but it may not have been. I don't know.
Mac's
I'm not sure with Cody. Cody tells stories, and sometimes he may exaggerate a little bit. I'm not sure, but he may be related somehow.
Yeah, but that was a great time. I loved hosting those guys, and I'm real excited to see Mac again. And Mac had reached out to me, let me know he was coming through to make sure I knew, and I was like, all right, I'll be there, dude. So
cool. All right. Well, Jack, thank you so much, Jack Poynor, Captain Jack, back on the show as our co-host this week. Ryan will be back next week. Jet lag probably, but it'll be interesting to hear his Taiwan stories because that was quite an adventure that he's been on this week, and I can't wait to hear about it and see if he falls asleep on the air. So we'll do that next week. But Jack, thank you so much. I'm sure we'll see you down the road, and keep in touch. All right.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.